Hello and welcome back to this episode of the Engage 8 podcast. I am Josh with my co-host Mike. Today we are going to cover the end of the NBA first round. We'll talk about the four series that were not over last time we recorded, and then we will preview round two. But before we get into that, we will do our studs and duds for this past week in sports. I'll start us off with my stud. I'm gonna go with Mikko Rantanen. He didn't have the best series overall for Dallas, and Dallas didn't have their best series overall against the Avalanche in general. They were down for a majority of the series. They still found a way to win in seven. Of course, Rantanen used to play for the Avalanche. He's now on the Dallas Stars, puts up a hat trick with an assist, 4 point game in game seven, has that game winning goal on the power play late in the third period, and then essentially had every impactful goal for Colorado outside of that empty netter at the end of the game. So he was absolutely dominant, played almost 20 minutes time on ice for the Stars and gets his series win for his team over the Avalanche. And I think the Stars are one of the more dangerous teams looking for the cup right now.
For my stud of the week, I'm going to go with the one and the only Draymond Green. He talks a lot of trash, had a lot of beef in that series against Houston, but he went out in game seven and was a reliable scorer like he tends to be in game sevens. He's a pretty good game seven performer at this point. His plus minus was plus 18 in that game. He had 16 points in 40 minutes played. He was great. His defense was phenomenal. On Sengun held him to bad shooting, and he shows up in these big games. He talks a lot of trash, but he backed it up here and has been one of the best, if not the best, defensive player in his time in the NBA. And he gets a lot of hate, but at some point you got to respect him.
Over Gobert?
I'm taking him over Gobert as a defender. He's not a liability in the playoffs as a defender like Gobert.
Yeah, I'm taking Gobert. But
I'm
uh,
taking Draymond every day of the
you
week
got
defensively.
Mr. Triple Single as your stud of the week. For my dud, I'm going with he was the third best player at absolute max on each one of those teams,
And he
fourth on
still
some of
has
them.
and he still has more rings than your franchise by himself.
That's fine. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know what you want me to say about that.
Championships matter.
Yeah, I guess, but if you're a role player, I don't know.
I
It
mean,
may,
defensive
no,
player of the year, all-star role player, has finished top 10 MVP.
it
A
is
role
what it
player, I
is.
guess.
Third best player on championship team isn't like the most impressive thing to me. That doesn't like scream Hall of Famer to me, but it is what it is. I guess you can take credit for those rings. But my dud of the week is going to be Davison Figueredo. Bro came up to fucking 135 and he immediately got crowned. Oh, he's coming up. He was a big 125-pound weight bully. Now he's gonna come up take over 135. He beat a washed Cody Garbrandt and a washed Cheeto Vera, and then got put number five in the rankings. Gets 50-45 by Peter Yan, and then gets his knee broken by Corey Sandhagen this past weekend. Dude is trash. Every single time I bet on him, he loses. Brandon Moreno broke him when they fought four times in a row at featherweight or not featherweight, sorry, at flyweight. And he has no business being amongst the elite in this division, a division at bantamweight that is really really talented at the top. He just does not deserve to be in that conversation. Shout out to Corey Sandhagen, won a big fight and dominant regardless.
My dud of the week, I was gonna go with James Harden for his terrible playoff performances, unfortunately, but I'm gonna go with actually Canelo Alvarez and kind of boxing this weekend. Boxing was very rough. We saw Ryan Garcia struggle. And Canelo Alvarez does get a win, but a 12-round fight with 445 punches thrown was the record for the fewest combined punches thrown in a 12-round fight. Canelo Alvarez hasn't got a finish since 2021. He hasn't got a finish since then. He's every single fight since has gone to decision, which is three, four, five, six. His last seven fights have all gone to decision. At some point, he's got to. I know he's getting older. He's one of the better boxers of all time, but need to get finishes. And he does have a big fight coming up against Crawford. That's going to be a mega fight in Vegas. But get some finishes. I guarantee that fight will probably go to decision too. So we'll see if he wins that one. But a rough weekend for boxing. Ryan Garcia as well got
Haney
dominated.
was brutal. That
Haney
fight
was
was brutal.
terrible, and it's coming off of a. I want to say it was 2 weekends ago where it was Carl Eubank versus Ben, and that was a fantastic fight, one of the better boxing fights in recent memory, and that's a an English boxing fight, and the Americans come out and put up a couple stinkers. Or yeah,
Yeah, it was not fun to watch. Especially this is supposed to be the weekend that this is the weekend of boxing with
yeah.
those three big names and Rolly as well fighting this weekend. But yeah, like you said, it was a bit of a dud overall. Somebody needs to give a quick shock to boxing because they're on life support right now, man.
And I was excited for him coming off of that Carl Eubank Ben fight because it was so electric. I don't know if you saw that one, but
I did not see the fight.
it was their dads fought each other in like the 90s. It was a
Mm.
huge rivalry, and then they were coming back and fighting each other, and and his dad wasn't like in support of the fight at all. He was pissed. And then all of a sudden, the day of the fight happens, and his dad was just there in his corner the entire time, and he ended up winning.
Was
And
it
the
a
fight
finish?
was great. No, it went to decision, but it was actually like they weren't doing all the hugging stuff. They were
That's good.
attacking each other all 12 rounds. It was electric.
I mean,
Great fight. I would recommend to watch it.
that's starting to become my thing with boxing. The same reason like I can't stand soccer because it's so many ties. It's like, can we get a finish once in
Oh,
a while in boxing, man? Like
that's
seriously.
that's who my stud of the week was gonna be,
Go ahead,
and
you can give
I
an honorable
forgot.
mention. Go ahead.
Lamine Yamal. Just, I mean, it's ridiculous. He's 17 years old and he's one of the best soccer players in the world. He's got Barcelona potentially going to the Champions League
Barcelona.
final. And if they win that, he should be the Ballon d'Or winner, which is ridiculous because he's only 17 years old. He would have won the Euros. Um, I'm pretty sure they're winning the Spanish league and then go and win the Champions League. That'd be ridiculous. He's incredible and he's only 17.
All right, that's talking soccer. So
Yeah,
maybe the is that the only time we've ever talked about soccer on the
I feel
127
like we
episodes?
might have talked about the Euros.
Maybe. We might have talked
There's
Euros.
a non-zero chance.
Or no, World Cup was going on when we recorded, right?
I don't think so.
Or maybe it was Copas I'm thinking of. We
You're
probably
thinking of
talked
the Euros.
Copas. Well, Euros and the Copa went on at the same time.
Yeah,
We probably
I
talked
don't
about
know.
both of those, but I don't recall us ever doing that. Speaking of soccer, did you see Messi completely copied Prime?
Yeah, I saw that and he's getting
That's
sued.
an absurd, like, just that's a one for one copy. The model's the exact same.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
thought he had like signed with Prime. I thought
no,
I'd remember seeing that, but then I saw that he was,
I guess not.
yeah,
Just completely ripped
kind of
it.
Ridiculous.
He ripped it and then sued them for copying him. And then now they're
Yeah.
obviously countersuing, which is so funny. Just hilarious. The thing is, Messi probably doesn't even like it probably had nothing to do with him. It was just whoever like his business partners
Yeah,
are.
his manager was like,
Yeah.
let's go and make an exact copy of this drink
Yeah,
that
like
everybody's drinking. Maybe they'll
exactly
go
like
and
the
get it.
third most popular drink in the world.
You
Let's
already
just
have
completely
enough
rip
money.
it.
Let's just
Yeah.
try to get more.
It probably worked. There's definitely some people who just don't who look at it and think it's prime.
What do you think Messi's net worth is?
Do you have the number?
I have the number on just what popped up.
Is he a billionaire?
Close.
900 million?
850 million.
Honestly, I thought it'd be more than that.
Me too, honestly. I feel like he's got to have some. I mean, I don't know if it was him or Ronaldo that I mean, Kawhi does it too now. They had like a Gatorade bottle on the stand, and he took the Gatorade bottle off of the stand when he was doing his interview and said, "Don't drink
Yes.
this." And their like
Yes.
stock went down completely after he did it.
I think that was Ronaldo. I'm pretty sure that was Ronaldo. I'm not positive. And then yeah,
Oh
Kawhi did
wow.
it too. What?
Ronaldo does have $1 billion net worth.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Ronaldo's almost like I mean, I'd argue he might be the bigger name. I'm a
I don't
Messi
know.
guy personally.
Yeah, I go back and forth with him. I think it kind of just depends where you are. I think if you're overseas, it might be Ronaldo. I think if you're in the Americas, it's
Yeah, I guess we're not really tapped into the scene where it's way more popular. We're just
mhm,
saying it from an American standpoint,
yeah,
but
and yeah, speeds help that
yeah,
as well.
definitely. Definitely. But we can move on to NBA now. We'll finish out these four series we have to recap for round one. We'll start with the one that is we essentially recapped last episode because it was 3-1 and basically over at that point with Timberwolves Lakers. The Timberwolves win this series in five. Rudy Gobert, who is the best defensive player of our era, put up 27 points and 24 rebounds in this game. Maybe his best game of all time.
Yeah,
I think it
probably.
might be his best game of
It's
all time.
easily his best playoff performance of all time.
Yeah, definitely. 12 for 15 from the field. I mean, that's just absurd. Find me a Draymond style line that compares to that, bro.
I'll go to the most important game in recent history.
Zero assists though, unfortunately.
Yeah, shocker.
I mean, 24 rebounds, 27 points. He was dominant, plus 18. Led the team in plus minus. Ant was horrible in this game. 15 points, over 11 from three. 15 points on 19 shots for him. But the Lakers, man, they just didn't have it this series. They got another good Rui game, which they needed. Luca was okay in this game, but Luca's definitely banged up. I think it's pretty safe to say there's something wrong with his back. LeBron really wasn't himself this series. 22 points on 21 shots. A team low minus 14 for the King, which is unfortunate to say the least in game five here. But yeah, I'll continue to say what I said when we talked about the Luka trade initially, and we talked about it last week, and we're gonna keep talking about it when it comes to the Lakers. Is it doesn't matter if Luka and LeBron suck and go out in the first round or don't make the playoffs every year because the Lakers went from where they would have been post LeBron without Luca, which is one of the worst teams in the league with not a ton of draft picks and a bunch of cap space to spend on a free agency period, which in today's NBA, you don't have a ton of dudes who are worth a ton in free agency anymore. It's just not how it really works. And now you have Luca, who is your franchise player and something you could build on post LeBron that no matter what happens in your LeBron and Luca days, you still get Luca by himself with a full team around him next year. But it'll be interesting to see what LeBron does in the offseason because he has a player option. He could opt in for 50 million dollars. And that kind of sets this team back, obviously, because as great as LeBron is, I still think he's a top 20 player in the league right now, top 15 player in the league right now. $50 million is a shit ton of money. It's a shit ton of money. And I think if he really, really, really wants to win with this Lakers core, he needs to decline that player option or take a discount. That's the only way. Even if he takes 40 million, that's an extra 10 million you can go and get a center because they absolutely need a center or somebody that can help off the bench. Hopefully in the future going forward here, Austin Reeves is a lot better in the playoffs. He's been great in the playoffs in his career. He just had a bad series here. But you need to go out and get more players to build around this core. And it seems like the only way to do that might be LeBron taking a discount. So we'll see what he does in the offseason.
Yes, just a really rough series overall from the Lakers, like you said. Luka banged up. Austin Reeves didn't really show up in this series, couldn't hit as many shots, and just they didn't have it offensively. They just struggled all playoffs. 94, 95, 94, 104, 113, 96 points in those 5 games. No game their offense really exploded. The Timberwolves offense didn't explode either, but their defense was just better than the Lakers throughout the series. In game five, I mean, the theme in the series kind of was the Lakers not having a big man, and in game five, Rudy Gobert absolutely exploited that. Had, like you said, the best game of his career. Lakers desperately in the offseason need to go and get a center, no matter what. Someone, at least someone who can go and guard centers, a lob threat for Luka as well. But that defense um, by the Timberwolves all series was dominant. We have now seen Anthony Edwards take down Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic, and now LeBron and Luka. He got his revenge on Luka from last season, and he has the chance to go and take down Curry in the next round, which would be pretty ridiculous of him to do. Dante DiVincenzo stepped up as well in this series. He was solid. Yeah, Rudy Gobert. This Timberwolves team has played better in the playoffs now. They managed to somehow steal home court advantage in the playoffs as a 6 seed. That hasn't happened very often. But we'll see how they do. And the Lakers, they go in the offseason. If LeBron takes a pay cut, that'd be huge. I just don't really see it happening from him. He was minus 14 in that game five. He struggled, but we'll see. Luka, not great either.
I mean, he has to take the pay cut. He doesn't need the extra 10 mil.
He doesn't need it, but I mean, there's not. I feel like I can't really think of many times NBA players have went out and taken a pay cut.
Yeah, I mean, they don't. They never do. And to be honest, there's not really anybody. No, there's not really any centers in free agency that are going to be worth getting at all. Like the NBA free agency is kind of washed now.
hmm
There's like it's you just don't really see it happen. It's more like you see trades more than anything than guys just leaving in free agency. You just
LeBron
don't
did
see it.
take a pay cut when they made that Heat Dream team,
There
but
you go.
that was also how many years ago?
Yeah, and he's got a lot more money now.
Yeah, that's true.
I think he can afford to get rid of 10 mil if there's an option. And he might owe the Lakers one for getting his kid on the team.
That's yeah.
He might owe them a solid quick 10 mil.
I don't
And hopefully
even
Bronny can start next year.
I haven't even looked at who is a free agent at all this season.
I don't think there's any notable names.
I think they got Spencer Dinwiddie. That's a
They need a rim protector is what they need. They just
yeah.
had, I mean, they had Rui guarding Rudy Gobert, and then after the game,
Oh
Rui
yeah,
was
I know.
like, what do you want me to do? Like, he's 7'1", I'm 6'8". Like, there's nothing
Yeah.
I could do.
One of the big guys I think they kind of have to go for might be Steven Adams.
That would be huge.
But I know the Warriors are also really going to be going after Steven Adams.
Why do you say that?
I just know well, I'd expect the Warriors to. I know Warriors fans have been begging for Steven Adams.
Why is that?
I have no idea, but
By Warriors fans, are you talking about yourself?
no, I've just been seeing it on Twitter.
Oh,
Brooke
okay.
Lopez is a free agent. I mean, that's not terrible. He's old, but
Yeah, that's not
Miles
bad.
Turner,
Is he a free agent?
it has Miles Turner listed as an unrestricted center free agent, but
That's
that'd be crazy.
shocking.
I don't see the Pacers letting him leave.
I mean, he's like the number one name every single year that people are like, oh, but if you add Miles Turner to this team, and he just never leaves, he stays on the Pacers every single year.
Yeah. I don't think he was in that many rumors this year for like the first time in his career.
Yeah, yeah, but still, there were some.
Yeah.
The Suns think they're getting him every year, but they're never getting him. I like Miles Turner a lot, but um, we'll move on here
Yeah.
to the Knicks and Pistons. Knicks win this series in 6 games. They win this one late. Pistons made a bit of a comeback here in Game 6, but just could not pull it off. This was the Pistons series to lose, and they did lose it. They had multiple games. Of course, the bad foul call or no foul call in Game 4, the choke in Game 1. There were a couple moments in this series where it easily could have went the other way, and you could have seen the Pistons winning a playoff series, something that we never would have expected when the season started. But the Knicks, the more veteran team, the more playoff experienced team, is able to handle um, adversity. And when a team chokes, they're not going to let them get away with it. And a young team like the Pistons, unfortunately, is going to have things like that happen. Tobias Harris had his first really bad game here of the series in Game 6. He was minus 23, 14 points for him. Game low plus minus. Malik Beasley was plus 17. He was phenomenal. 6 for 13 from three, 6 for 13 from the field. Only took threes. Cade was over 8 from 3. He was tough. Same thing with Tim Hardaway, 1 for 6 from three. They just did not shoot the ball well in this game at all. It's really tough to win a playoff game in the NBA, shooting 26% from three in today's day and age. It's just tough to do. But overall, it's an accomplishment for the Pistons to be where they're at. No one expected this going into the year, and you had a series that you absolutely could have and probably should have won against the Knicks. So I think it's impressive regardless from the Pistons. The Knicks, they move on to play Boston, and like we've said, I got Boston in 5 or 6, probably 5.
Yeah. I'm just seeing I haven't seen Popovich in a long time, but he held a press conference today. Um,
Well, he stepped down,
yeah, he's looking. Oh,
or I guess stepped up, but
he said he's no longer coach. He's El Jefe. He's looking old. Oh man, this is kind of sad to watch.
I mean, he had a stroke, bro.
Yeah, no, very recently. But Ginobili's there and Tim Duncan. Also,
Ginobili's there.
yeah, Ginobili's kind of looking younger. He's just straight bald.
Wow, I gotta check that out.
And Tim Duncan still got his long hair. But back to this series with the Pistons, they had this game kind of won in Game 6. Came back, took a lead. They were up by like 5 with 3 minutes to go or something. They went on a big run, but after that, they just could not buy a bucket. The Knicks defense stepped up and dominated. Jalen Brunson was great in that game, 40 points. Did struggle a little bit from 3-point range, but when it mattered, hits a nasty step back three on Asar Thompson. Had Asar Thompson leaning. Just a great shot. When Jalen Brunson does stuff like that, it's very impressive. He's very under control. The foul baiting gets very annoying, but he only did shoot 8 free throws in this game, so you can't complain too much. They shot 30. They both teams shot 30 free throws, or 33 to
Yeah,
30 on free throws. But the Knicks defense dominated in that late game. Mikal Bridges was great as well. He had 25 points. OG Anunoby 22 points. Josh Hart is always doing something for this team, whether it's scoring, rebounding, whatever he can, playing defense. He was good in this game again. Karl Anthony Towns as well. So the Knicks have so many guys. They've been here before. They've been in the playoffs, like you said. This is the Pistons' first time in the playoffs in a while. Pistons are still looking for a star. They need someone that can be the alpha. I know Cade Cunningham is going to be that, but they need another second scorer outside of him. Malik Beasley was good in this game, shot decent from three, 6 for 13. Was hot in the first half, but in the second half cooled off a little bit, and then it's really down to just Cade as the main scorer. We saw Tim Hardaway hit a big shot, but that wasn't enough. And I think this Pistons team is going to be good in the future. Uh, they have a lot of Cade Cunningham's going to continue to grow and get better. Jalen Duren's going to get better. Sar Thompson as well, but they just need that one more piece to kind of put them over the top and become a real threat. And that's kind of what the Knicks are and what they did in the offseason. They went and got Karl Anthony Towns after last season getting OG Anunoby. So the Pistons will get there, but they still just need one more piece.
Okay, we'll move on here to the Nuggets and Clippers. The Nuggets dominate Game 7, win convincingly at home over the Clippers. Clippers that, of course, win Game 6 to force us to 7. But shout out to the Nuggets, man. They got it done. A lot of people doubted them. A ton of people picked against them in this series, but they got it done. And my plus 3,000, 30 to 1 lives to see another day. Aaron Gordon was phenomenal in this game. 22 points, plus 23 on the plus minus for him, plus 31 for Michael Porter Jr., who had 15 in this game. Jokic, not his best game ever, 16, 10, and 8, but still very solid. And then Jamal Murray also 16, Christian Braun 10. Every single player in the starting lineup for the Nuggets had 15 or more, which is just huge in this game. And Russell Westbrook had three very good games to end this series. So shout out to Russ for continuing to be great off the bench in his new role. Game one was a little bit rough. He got a lot of hate for that game, for that game one, but bounces back late in the series to win this for the Nuggets. I I know the Nuggets are not as good as the Thunder, and I know the Thunder have looked so dominant, especially in round one and the entire regular season, but there's something to be said about a team that has won a title before and has played like five playoffs together. Like the Nuggets or the Thunder are obviously they're getting more experience. This is year two for them to be in the playoffs. This is year like five or six for the Nuggets. They've been here before. What is it? 20 was it 2019 or 2020 was their first playoff run? So I think they're on like year five or six now. And of course, they win the title in 23. So they've been here before. Christian Braun is playing like a true great role player. Aaron Gordon and MPJ played a lot better towards the end of the series, and then Russ off the bench. So if you got, and I didn't even realize they have Zeke Naji on this team too. I didn't even know they had him. But yeah, Peyton Watson was also decent in this game. But yeah, I like the Nuggets. I mean, we'll see. We're gonna preview this series here in a bit with them and the Thunder, but. I think they're being very underlooked right now, or overlooked, I guess. That's what I should have said.
Yeah, I feel like the main issue is that they're just coming off of a very, very hard fought series that went
Yeah,
to 7 games,
definitely.
and the Thunder have had a lot of rest leading up into this. Maybe there's something to be said about continuing to play. You don't get any time off, you're just in a rhythm, but I imagine having time off does help. Game six, really the Clippers kind of dominated that game. They were great. Kawhi Leonard played good, 27 points. James Harden had his really kind of only good game of this series, 28 points on 10 for 20 shooting. He struggled this series a lot. I wanted to get the stat. I couldn't find it. It was something like he's had more turnovers than points in like 7 games in the playoffs, which is ridiculous. He's unfortunately been one of the worst playoff performers we've seen for his level of talent, considering he's usually been a top 10 player in the league, top 5 player in the league for a while, and he always tends to underperform in the playoffs, and it's very unfortunate. In game seven, the Nuggets just dominated. Kawhi Leonard did not play good. He was minus 33. James Harden was minus 29, only 7 points in that game seven, 1 for 4 from three, 2 for 8 from the field. Just did not have it. Norman Powell did not have it. Really, no one on the Clippers played good in that game at all. Kawhi, like I said, 33. Zubac was minus 17. Norman Powell minus 31. Batum minus 27. They just got absolutely dominated pretty much from the jump by the Nuggets. Aaron Gordon was great. He was good all series. Jamal Murray continues to kind of recover from an injury, but he's playing 40 plus minutes a game and dominating. And Jokic only had to play 32 minutes in this game. So maybe that's a good thing moving forward for the Nuggets, as he had, 16 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. Just a solid Jokic stat line. Didn't even have to do too much in that game seven, and they were able to dominate. So The Clippers continue to be one of the most disappointing teams in the last 5 to 10 years. The Kawhi Leonard experiment really hasn't worked out for him, and it's unfortunate to see. I thought they would finally maybe make a little bit of a run this playoffs with him and Harden, but they underperform again, and I shouldn't have expected them to live up to expectations.
Okay, moving on here to our final game of round one with the Warriors winning in game seven over the Rockets, our second game seven of the playoffs. I wanted to say with these game sevens, what was with the start times? Like,
Yeah.
why were they so early? Especially the Saturday game. Was that like 6:30?
hmm
What is the point of starting? It was on the West Coast too. I don't understand that at
This
all.
one I think was fine. I think
This
the
one was
Warriors game was
7:30. This
fine.
one was fine, yeah. Especially for a Sunday, but 6:30 on a Saturday?
Yeah, it's a little early.
That just didn't make any sense to me at all. Especially, I mean, it being in Denver. Or
I guess if you're
yeah.
Eastern time, you're happy.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just wanted it to be a little bit later. I thought it was kind of weird to have it so early, but yes, Warriors win the series in 7 games. This last game here was the Buddy Hield game. If it wasn't for Buddy Hield, Steph, Jimmy, Draymond, these legends would be out in the first round, but Buddy Hield digs them out of this grave, shoots 9 for 11 from three, 33 points plus 17 for him. Single-handedly won this game for the Warriors as they pulled away here late in the fourth quarter. The biggest problem for the Rockets is not their defense. They played very well defensively from this game and most of this series. They did what they wanted to do on Curry. Curry ended up scoring late, but for most of this game, he was stuck at 3 points. They did a great job guarding him. It's just their offense. If they don't have a drive to the rim or an offensive rebound, they're not going to score. They're not great in the half court. They don't shoot the ball particularly well at all. They only hit six threes in this game, shot 33% from three. They only took 18. 6 for 18 from three is not winning basketball in the year 2025. It unfortunately is not. Jalen Green is kind of holding this team back. And unfortunately, I feel like I see the writing on the wall, and I feel like Jalen Green's probably going to end up being a Sun next year. I'm not happy about it, but it looks like the best way to unlock the Rockets is getting rid of Jalen Green, and they're going to want to get KD, and that almost seems like a match that's unfortunately probably going to happen. But yeah, Jalen Green was bad in this game. Is not able to get it done. He had, luckily for them, he had 0 turnovers and he only had a -6 plus minus, but he just couldn't score. Amen Thompson, he is the star of this team. He is the best player on this team. He's phenomenal defensively. He puts up 24 points on offense, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 6 for 6 on the free throw line. He was great. Sengun is also just this absolute freak, 21 and 14, 5 assists for him. So Rockets got guys where they're going to be good going forward here, but Jalen Green, just at this point in his career, I don't think is a winning basketball player. And despite this team being built so well and being very well coached by Ime, they're just not able to get it done. But shout out to Buddy Hield for saving the mighty Warriors. We'll see if he does it against the Timberwolves.
I mean, the entire Rockets game plan was don't let Curry see the light of day at all. Don't even give him a chance to shoot it. Double him, blitz the screens every time you have a chance, and that's going to open the floor for the other guys. So someone's going to have to step up. And in this game, it was Buddy Hield. We've seen Podziemski be great at times, but Buddy Hield shot 9 for 11 in this game. Great.
Hield's
Jimmy
so
Butler didn't have
trash,
to
too.
do too much.
He's
What'd you say?
Buddy Hield's so trash too. For him to go
He's
nine
not.
for 11 in this
He's
game for the
not. I wouldn't say
Warriors
he's
is just
trash. That's crazy.
so annoying.
He's up and he's a streaky shooter, and this is a game where he hits all of his shots. He goes nine
Yeah,
for eleven. He had,
yes.
I mean, you can go look at his box scores from the series. I'm pretty sure it was like 8 points, 30 points, 8 points, 8 points, and then going up to this game, he gets
Yeah.
33. So he's a streaky shooter. In this game, he had it 9 for 11. Confidence is a big thing. He was also fantastic defensively, Buddy Hield, this entire Warriors team. Since they've got Jimmy Butler, I'm pretty sure they've been the number one defensive efficiency team. And we really saw that in this game. They held the Rockets to only 89 points. Draymond Green, as a primary defender against Sengun, was great. Steph Curry, they were trying to attack him a little bit, but he was actually fantastic in this game defensively as well. Had 2 steals, 2 blocks, 10 defensive rebounds. They shot only 33% with Steph Curry as the primary defender, drew a charge. He did everything he could in this game outside of really scoring. He did well. He had 7 assists, like I said, 10 rebounds. He played well outside of them not letting him shoot. Still finishes with 22 points as the second leading scorer for this Warriors team. Draymond Green plus 18, highest plus minus in the game. He was great defensively, and with the Rockets, you just need kind of like the Pistons a little bit. You need that one more primary scorer. We continue to see Amen Thompson grow as a scorer. He had 24 points. Sengun is maybe the best offensive threat on this team, but just had a rough game. The defense of the Warriors really frustrated him, and Fred VanVleet wasn't able to keep fire for um, 3 straight games after he was fantastic in Game 5 and Game 6. Did not have the same shooting stroke as he did in those, but it was a great season for the Rockets. They finished as a 2 seed. Ime Udoka's second season, a lot better than they could have imagined. Just they are now 0-5 against Steph Curry's Warriors in the playoffs, and it's kind of just like the boogeyman. It's like LeBron in Toronto. It's Steph in Houston. He owns them. So the Warriors move on.
LeBronto.
Yeah, LeBron Toe and uh, Steph Houston.
No,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
There
I
it
saw,
is.
I saw you were trying to cook, and I was like, "There's
Steph
no way he's
Houston.
getting this in time."
Steph Houston.
Um,
I don't
all right,
know.
all right, we'll move on to the preview of the second round here. One game has passed. The Pacers beating the Cavaliers, going up 1-0. In this series, Cavs no Garland in this game with a quote left great toe hyperextension. I'm guessing that means big toe, great
I
toe.
got
I've I've
no
never
idea. I've never
never
heard of
heard
a
it
great
called
toe.
that. Yeah, but I'm assuming that means big toe.
Yeah.
So he was out with that, which is a crazy injury to miss a playoff game with. But um, Donovan Mitchell. Very, very inefficient game from him. 1 for 11 from three, 33 points on 30 shots, a minus 19 plus minus for him. Ty Jerome, similar situation. He had 21, but on 20 shots, just not very efficient at all. Rest of the team was fine. Jared Allen was solid offensively, only 5 boards from him, though. And then Mobley, 20 and 10, a solid game from him. But the Pacers are just, they're at their best when they have their entire starting lineup playing as one full unit and scoring as one full unit. They have 17, 17, 13, 23, and 22 from their starting lineup. That's how they win games. They don't need one guy to get 30 and a couple guys to get 7 in the starting lineup. They have 5 guys who can all go get you 15 to 20. And when they're balanced scoring like that, they're tough to beat. And of course, if Garland was in this game, they probably lose. But they take advantage of a situation where Garland isn't here and they take home court advantage from the Cavs. Hopefully, Garland comes back next game and the Cavs can get a win at home. And if the Cavs do get a win at home, then I'd still predict that the Cavs are going to win this series going in. I had Cavs in 6 over the Pacers. I'm going to stick with that. I still think the Cavs can win in 6. If the Pacers win game 2, they're in deep, deep, deep trouble, though.
Yeah. Pacers go and steal game 1 in Cleveland. Cavs do not hit 10 threes in this game. It was one of like the first times all season they have not hit 10 threes in a game. The Pacers defense was good. And then this starting lineup for the Pacers continues to just impress. Andrew Nemhard in the playoffs is just a playoff performer. He shoots 7 for 10 from the field, 5 for 6 from 3, 23 points, hits a bunch of clutch shots. He's fantastic. Him and Tyrese Halliburton were great in this game. And then Siakam, Neesmith, and Miles Turner as well all played very, very well. This Pacers team continues to impress in the playoffs. They've done it now. This is the second year in a row. If they can go and find themselves in the conference championship, that'd be very impressive. Donovan Mitchell in this game was good, but struggled to shoot from downtown. 1 for 11 from three. He's going to have to be better. But if you're a Cavs fan, you do have to look at it. You're missing Garland. Donovan Mitchell shoots terrible from three. Your team as a whole shoots terrible from three. And you lose game 1 by 9 points. It is what it is. You got to move on. I still think the Cavs can win this series, but I kind of see the Pacers being a better playoff team than the Cavs. They've performed before. The Cavs can have struggled in the playoffs before. I think I'm gonna go with the Pacers in 7.
Okay, there it is. Pacers in
I
7. You hate the Cavs too, though. So
I don't hate the Cavs. I like
you
this
said
Cavs team.
Matt quoted you after the one in the sweep, and that he said you said the Cavs would struggle in round 1, which you did.
I thought they would struggle a little bit. Yeah,
They won up by 122 points in
yeah. I
round
know
1.
I was wrong. I was wrong. But have they struggled in round 2? I'd say they have so far.
Without their second best player, but yes.
But
Or I guess you
they
could
are
argue
worried
third.
that Garland might not return.
Really?
I believe so.
It's really that bad
They're,
of a
well, they're
left
they're
great toe?
they're they're concerned about the injury. He's
Is that
hopeful to play, but they're
is that just
concerned.
mind games?
It says Cavaliers insider drops concerning Darius Garland news.
That's
That
also a
was like that
headline.
headline.
Yeah.
But that was a it was a tweet. He's got a lot of swelling, I believe, is what I saw. Yeah, his toe is going to bother him. He's got a lot of swelling there. There's pain every time he makes a sharp movement. He feels it.
They got to give my boy a shot or something and let him go. I mean, it's playoffs,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, I didn't even know that he was really it was really that much of a significant concern for him, but
I
I
mean,
guess
it's
it
just, I
is.
feel like that's one of those things, and I'm no doctor, of course,
They're
but
saying you would have been shut down for about 2 weeks if it was a regular season.
right. But it's not like a KD calf situation where it could end up being something bad or
That's
like a
true.
shoulder or something. Like worst case scenario, he breaks the toe, right? Which is a month injury.
Yeah, I don't know what the worst case scenario would
Yeah, I
be
don't know.
with
I'm not a doctor, but I'm gonna just say that's the worst case scenario.
it is his big toe.
Great toe.
Yeah, I've never heard it called grape toe, so I'm just gonna leave it there.
Yeah, I think he should play. But we'll move on to the Knicks Celtics here. Like I said, before the playoffs, I obviously have the Celtics here. Boston is number two in offensive efficiency this year and number four in defensive efficiency. The Knicks are number five in offensive efficiency and number 11 in defensive efficiency. So, two of the better offensive teams in the NBA this season. We know that the Knicks have so many great wing defenders that you would think that they should be a little bit higher defensively, but they just really haven't performed to their true ability this year. Knicks really struggled with the Pistons in that first round. Celtics cruised past the Magic outside of that one game. My same concern stands as it did last week with the Celtics, which is are Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown going to be healthy enough in this series to win it all? And we did get a report this week that it's looking like the Celtics might not blow it up, but there's going to be significant changes in Boston after this year, so they kind of have to win this title because you don't know if how long it's going to be till they're back, but you'll get your answers on Jason Tatum when he does not have a great team around him. We'll see if he's able to carry a team to the finals. But regardless, this year he has that great team around him. I think front to back they're better than the Knicks. And as much as I love Cat, he's a great second scorer, but he's one of those guys that he will just fall asleep in a series or fall asleep for a game, and he won't perform offensively. And the Celtics have too many great offensive players to let that happen. I think they'll be able to control the Jalen Brunson offense on the defensive end, and the Celtics will get the win and move on to the conference finals. I think they win this series in 5 games.
Yeah, I think my prediction I had Celtics in six. I'm probably gonna stick with that. I think the Celtics are a better team. They haven't really played to their full potential. They were able to rest Jason Tatum for a game basically in the first round. I think they're gonna continue to dominate the Knicks. While the Knicks are a very good team, I just don't see them being able to go out there and beat this Celtics team. I haven't really figured out what movie the Celtics coach is watching this year because
Hmm.
last year was the town. I think he
Right,
said,
Missoula. Yeah,
yeah, I can't remember what he said he was going to watch. Oh, it was The Accountant 2, I think, was his
just came out,
plan.
right?
hmm That was his plan to watch that movie 50 times a day. Uh, so if that's a movie, maybe they'll have it. I still have the Celtics in six, and I still have the Celtics winning the championship as well.
So moving over to the West, we will start with the Thunder and Nuggets, who tip off tonight, I believe. I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, they tip off tonight. First game, OKC's favored by 10 in game one, which is a bit crazy. Like you said earlier, it's the rest versus rust here with the Thunder and the Nuggets. The Nuggets have just played a hard-fought 7 game series that went back and forth and back and forth. I believe they were down 2-1, right?
Yeah,
Down 2-1, then won two
then
straight,
won
then
and two,
lost,
then lost and
then
won.
yeah. 7 game series, and then the Thunder easily win in 4 games. The last couple games were a little bit closer, but for the most part, they easily won in 4 games. The Nuggets are fourth in offensive efficiency and 23rd in defensive efficiency. OKC is third in offensive efficiency and numero uno in defensive efficiency. Thunder are definitely the better team. They're absolutely the better team. I trust them defensively. Offensively, I have my concerns about a second and third scorer after Shea when it comes to Jalen Williams and Chet, but they're the better team. There's no question about that. They're better coached, they're deeper. But the Nuggets playoff experience is just it's huge. They have the best player in the series and the best player in the world in Jokic. Jamal Murray, when he's playing his best ball, can be just as good as Shea on a regular night. Just Shea is just more consistent and better overall than Jamal Murray. Their role players have played so many more playoff games than the Thunder role players, and in series like this, it comes down to whose role players play the best. And I think I'm gonna trust that. I'm starting to convince myself that the Nuggets might win this series. Because I mean, you have guys
Who
like
is it?
MPJ and Aaron Gordon and Russell Westbrook who have done this before and have played a shit ton of playoff games. And then when you look at the OKC's role players like the Aaron Wiggins and the Isaiah Joes, it's and Lou Dort, it's like, oh, they played one playoff before. They played three series last year and then now they're here. So the experience is a big thing. But I'm not gonna me let that take away from the fact that the Thunder are the better team. So I'm still gonna take the Thunder to win this series. I'm gonna say Thunder in
Ah,
seven though.
man.
I'm gonna
Man,
say
you gotta
Thunder
stand
in
on
seven.
business. You gotta stand on
I
business.
I want to, but I do think the Thunder are going to win. I just want the Nuggets to win so bad. We'll be tuned
Yeah.
in. I'll be rooting for the Nuggets. Nuggets fans, if you're listening to this, I do believe in you.
I do believe in the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think they're going to continue to kind of dominate. They're coming off rest. I think they're going to take game one. I think they'll protect home court. And then I think they'll steal one and go up 3-1. I think the hardest game for them is going to be closing it out against Denver, really. Um, but I think OKC gets it done in six. I'll stick with what I had, even though I did have them playing the Clippers. I'm going to have them beating the Nuggets in six. I trust their defense. They have so many great defenders. They're, like you said, they're number one in defensive efficiency. I trust Chet Hartenstein. They have a couple of guys they can throw at Jokic, maybe just mix it up. And like defensively, Caruso, Kassan Wallace, Lou Dort. You still got Shea. They have so many guys defensively. I trust them. I trust their defense to continue to be dominant. That's something that is consistent most of the time. You can still play great defense, even if your offense is playing worse than it normally would. Your defense should still be great. So I trust their defense to step up, and I think their offense is going to be fine. But even if it struggles, I think they'll still have a good chance. And the hardest game is going to be to close them out, and you're going against the greatest player in the world with Jokic. And they do have the experience, but sometimes young guys they play with nothing to fear, and sometimes they can help them, sometimes they can hurt them. I'm going with the Thunder in six.
I'm gonna switch to the Nuggets.
Wow.
I'm
There you
gonna
go.
switch
Stand
to
on
the
business. Stand on
Nuggets. I'm
business.
gonna stand on business. I'm gonna take the Nuggets in seven. Um, the Thunder are so good defensively, but I think playing against a team like the Clippers, who's also very good defensively in the last series, although it might tire out the Nuggets, I think it might help them in the long run. It's not like they're going against an offensive team and then now they have to play against this defense that they haven't seen before. They played this defense before. They just came off playing a tough defense. The Thunder might get hit in the mouth a little bit early, and because they haven't played in so long and they just had four easy games against Memphis, and when you're a young team, losing your first game at home can hurt really, really badly. So look for the Nuggets to win tonight or tomorrow or whenever they play game two, and then we'll rock with it. And I'll
Contrasting. We
be.
have contrasting bets tonight.
You have a future on the Thunder?
No, no, you just said you think the Nuggets win tonight.
No, I said like look for them to win tonight. I'm not predicting they will win tonight.
Oh,
I think they'll cover
nice.
though. I think they'll cover 9.5.
It's a big spread, yeah.
I'm not gonna stand on that, but I'll stand on the Nuggets winning in seven. Plus 3,000. We're taking it to the bank. FanDuel cash me out. Um, all right. Last series here. Timberwolves Warriors. I can continue my hate watch of the Warriors, and I'm going to be rooting for Ant, the legend killer, to take out Steph Curry here. And Jimmy Butler, the only two legends in this matchup. Um, the D I guess you could make the argument I just made for the Nuggets for the Warriors here if you really wanted to. They just played a really tough defensive team in the Rockets, and now they're playing another really tough defensive team in the Timberwolves. So they're ready for it. They've been here before. I do also think that my main concern with the Warriors, that being a third scorer after Jimmy and um, Steph, is another concern I have with the Timberwolves is are they going to be able to have guys like McDaniels and Naz Reid be able to and Julius Randle show up on consistent nights when Ant isn't? I don't know. But and the Warriors are very good defensively as well. So I think this series is going to be very good. I have the series going to seven as well. I'm looking forward to it. But for the same reason that when I was on stream yesterday or the other day and I kept Curry out of my top 10 just because I realized that I don't have to always be unbiased. I can sometimes just give bias. I'm gonna take the Timberwolves to to beat the Warriors in seven games. Home court advantage. Ant does his thing, best scorer in the series, and the Timberwolves win.
I don't know if he'd be the best scorer in this series, but it should be a
I
great
think he
series
is.
going forward. Two very good defensive teams again with the Timberwolves and the Warriors. I, I, this is where the first one that I actually have to change. No matter what, I had OKC still alive, Cavs and Celtics all still alive, but I had the Lakers winning this one and going all the way to the conference championship. I was correct on Warriors in seven, which is nice, but um, the Lakers did not play good at all. So I'm gonna change my pick. I'm gonna go with the Warriors to win this game. This uh, matchup. I think I'm going to go with 7 games as well. I'm going to go with the Warriors in seven. Should be great. The Warriors do have a lot of guys. I mean, they've been playing great defensively. I'd imagine, I don't know, their issue again that they had with Sengun is who do they put on Gobert? I guess you could say Sengun's definitely a better scorer than Gobert, but he's still a big man. We saw how the Lakers did without a center. I think the Warriors do match up a little bit better with the Timberwolves than they do with the Rockets, just all around without the big man. So I'm gonna go with the Warriors to win in seven. They have the experience, but I don't really look into that as much because the Timberwolves have enough experience as well. Um, but there's a lot of guys that the Tim like you said, I think the Timberwolves need someone to step up as a second scorer, and I'm not 100% sure who will do that. We've seen Dante DiVincenzo be great in the playoffs, but he's another guy who can be a little hot and cold. So I like the Warriors to get it done. Draymond Green defensively is gonna have to match up with maybe Gobert
Randall,
and
probably.
I like him in that matchup. But I know you could go with Randall, but I think you might put Jimmy Butler on Randall.
Yeah, maybe.
So we'll see what they
Who are
do.
you putting on Ant then?
Uh, that's a good question.
Can't put Curry on him.
I mean, Curry's been great defensively, but yeah, you can't put Curry on him. I guess you would put Jimmy on Ant.
Gotta put Jimmy on Ant. He's too big. He's like 6'7".
He's like, what? Stop.
Who's who's the there's a lot of players on the Timberwolves who I could see getting into fights with Draymond. Rudy,
Yeah, well,
Randall, Ant, Naz Reid. There's a lot of options for Draymond to get into fights in the
yeah.
series.
Draymond said he knows what he has to do. He has to keep his emotions calm. He thought that maybe playing with that aggressiveness would help the team, but ended up hurting the team. And in Game 7, he said he wouldn't do that, and he didn't.
He
And
didn't learn that
they were
from his
fine.
suspension that lost his team to the finals. That didn't teach him that.
I
You'd think
mean,
that would have been a good learning point 10 years ago.
I don't think that lost the team the
It
finals.
was a big reason.
It was a big reason. I don't think that was the reason they lost though.
Okay, so him getting suspended wasn't the reason he lost. Wouldn't that mean he's a less valuable player?
I mean, they played against two guys who were on fire and couldn't miss.
I guess. If Curry got suspended, it would have been a different story, huh?
Curry did get ejected in that game.
That's true. Yeah, he did. Mouthpiece gate.
No one loves to throw their mouthpiece more than Curry. So maybe we get a mouthpiece throw by Curry in this series. Who
Well, then they
knows?
lose. Then they probably lose the series if that happens.
They lose a game in this series. That might not be the whole series.
Letting Draymond figure out the flagrant technical rule is bullshit.
It's
That's
great
such
by him.
bullshit.
It's great by. It
I,
was
I mean, he had a
great.
game in that first game where he had the flagrant and the technical. What was it, game five, I think, or games? It might have been game six. I don't remember. Where he had one flagrant, one technical, and five fouls. So literally any foul he could have possibly gotten would have kicked him out of the game.
Hey,
It to the
not many people are like him,
absolute
man.
limit, man.
He's smart. He doesn't get enough credit for being smart. He's finding ways within the game to get as many fouls as possible,
Yeah, I
I
think we can
guess.
hit the outro credits on that.
Shout out Draymond, man.
That'll about do it for this episode of the Engage 8 podcast. We will be back next week, talk about these round two games as well as any other headlines that pop up in the sports world. Hit all the links in our description for TikTok, Spotify, social media, and all that good stuff. Hit the follow button or hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on this video, and we will see everybody in the next one.